Hello and a warm welcome to Science Monitor, a weekly program of news from the world of science, technology, invention and innovation. Before going ahead, I wish you all a very happy Independence Day. I am Smriti Rastogi. In today's episode, we will tell you about the DST Startup Utsav fueling Atmanirbhar Bharat and what is so special about the National Science Film Festival being organized in Bhopal. There is other news as well, but first let's take a look at the headlines of this week. DST Startup Utsav held in Delhi. The program is fast becoming a platform to bridge the gap between youth and new startup. Dogri monthly science magazine Vigyan Jatra released. It is part of the government's initiative to spread scientific knowledge to all corners of the country with emphasis on various regional languages. And 12th National Science Film Festival to be held in Bhopal. Between August 22nd to 26th, 71 science films across the world to be screened. And now the news in detail. DST Startup Utsav was started with the aim to encourage new startups in the country. The festival aims to provide a platform to various startup founders, motivational speakers, advisors, and investors. The Utsav was organized on 12th August at Dr. Ambedkar International Center in New Delhi. Various activities, including a startup expo, was organized during the festival. Union Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Jitendra Singh, inaugurated the program. In his keynote address, Dr. Singh said the decade 2021-30 is expected to bring transformational changes for Indian science, technology and innovation. Here is a Science Monitor report on the Startup Utsav.
Indian science, technology and innovation ecosystem has its additional strength accorded by an era of startups, a necessary ingredient to fulfill the dream of Atmanirbhar Bharat. Taking important steps in this, the National Science and Technology Entrepreneurship Development Board NSTEDB organized the DST Startup Utsav in New Delhi on 12th of August 2022 to bridge the gap between young minds and startup. Union Minister for Science and Technology and Earth Sciences, Dr. Jitendra Singh inaugurated the event and said that the decade 2021 to 2030 is expected to bring transformational changes for Indian science, technology and innovation. He also said that globally India ranks third in startup ecosystem and in number of unicorn, and added that in India 49% of the startups are from Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities working in the field of IT, agriculture, aviation, education, energy, health and space sectors.
स्टार्टअप इकोसिस्टम में भारत इस समय तीसरे स्थान पर खड़ा है। इसका अर्थ ये हुआ कि भारतवासियों में, हमारे युवाओं में प्रतिभा भी थी, योग्यता भी थी, लेकिन उस प्रकार का उनको सपोर्ट सिस्टम अवेलेबल नहीं था।
Secretary, Department of Science and Technology, Dr. S. Chandrasekhar also addressed the gathering.
The comment was that how are we going to scale up these startups to larger products and larger portfolios? And I think that's where the journey begins for us, for all of you also, from tomorrow. As you pack your stuff and go back to your companies where you are located, I think this introspection of learnings from today and how you are going to shape your companies for future.
The event was also attended by officials from DST and all other stakeholders. 3 publications were also released on the occasion, and an exhibition set up by various startup was also inaugurated by the Union Minister. Speaking high for the Center for Augmenting War with COVID-19 Health Crisis, Kavach, Union Minister added that program was carved out in a record time by DST just when COVID hit the world. It was the first program by any department of Government of India to support startups working on COVID products and solutions. It is a matter of satisfaction that the significant impact and outcome of DST's program is evident from the fact that it promoted 160 incubators, nurtured 12,000 startups, including 1627 women-led startups, and generated more than 1.3 lakh jobs.
We could conceive a program Kavach, which was implemented through our network partners, the incubators. And within a span of just 3 months, we could identify and support around 50 startups. So this has given a great confidence in the network that has been created by DST. These 160 plus incubators are acting as a backbone, and we are confident like any challenge, any issue which is faced by the country can be addressed by these incubators through the startups.
हमने 75 स्टार्टअप शोकेस किए हैं एक्सपो में, और हमारा जो काम है पिछले 5-6 साल में वो स्पीड और स्केल में बहुत बढ़ गया है। ये जो स्टार्टअप डिस्प्ले हुई हैं ये इंस्पिरेशन रहेंगी हमारे युवा पीढ़ी के लिए कि स्टार्टअप्स के द्वारा वो कितनी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व कर सकते हैं, और आगे आने वाले में भारत को एक नई दिशा, न्यू इंडिया के लिए एक नए सूत्रधार हो सकते हैं।
Exhibits from 75 impactful incubated startups supported under Nidhi from across the country from various sectors, of which 50 physical as well as 25 digital mode were displayed in the DST Startup Expo.
The Union Minister of Science and Technology and Earth Sciences, Dr. Jitendra Singh, recently released the Dogri monthly science magazine, Vigyan Jatra, at the University of Jammu. The regional language editions are part of the government's initiative to spread science awareness to every corner of the country. While releasing the Dogri edition, the Union Minister emphasized the positive role of regional and local languages in taking science to the masses. Here is a Science Monitor report on the function.
Apart from English, science in India has mostly been propagated through the Hindi language. Hindi is not spoken in a large part of the country, but for long it has remained the only option of disseminating science in a regional language. However, this has resulted in huge gaps when bringing science to the rural masses. But all that is changing now. To correct this anomaly, Vigyan Prasar, an autonomous organization of the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, decided to bring out national monthly science journals in regional and local languages. As part of these efforts, the Union Minister of Science and Technology and Earth Sciences, Dr. Jitendra Singh, recently released the Dogri language edition of the national monthly science magazine, Vigyan Jatra. This magazine was released during a program organized at Jammu University. The magazine has been prepared with the help of science scholars of the Dogri language.
आज का ये समारोह सच पूछिए तो बड़ा उत्सवमय समारोह है, और मैं तो ये कहूँगा कि हम एक साथ एक नहीं, दो नहीं, बल्कि तीन उत्सव मना रहे हैं। एक तरफ तो विज्ञान की महिमा और जय विज्ञान का उत्सव, दूसरी ओर डोगरी भाषा और डोगरी के साथ जुड़ी हुई संस्कृति सभ्यता का उत्सव, और तीसरी ओर इन दोनों की उत्सवों की रचना जिस बड़े आकार के अंतर्गत हो रही है उसका अमृत महोत्सव। और जब हम अमृत महोत्सव की बात करते हैं तो मुझे विश्वास है कि 25 वर्ष के बाद सन 2047 में जब भारत अपनी 100वीं सालगिरह मनाएगा और शिखर पटल पर खड़ा होगा तो निश्चय ही वहां तक पहुंचने के रास्ते की नींव और उसका आधार हमारी वैज्ञानिक क्षमता रहेगी, वैज्ञानिक प्रतिभा रहेगी।
While releasing the Dogri edition, the Union Minister said that there is a need to release scientific journals and scientific literature in regional and local languages. He said that efforts are needed so that no individual is deprived of knowledge due to lack of literature in their regional language. Scientific information in regional and local languages will ensure that full advantage of science reaches to everyone. He said this would help every youth interested in science to get an equal opportunity. Dr. Singh also shared the story of many youth who recently topped all India competitions after graduating in their mother tongue. This means that making study material available in as many languages as possible is a positive step. The Union Minister had already released Hindi, English and Urdu editions of the science magazine Dream 2047 in New Delhi in December.
ये एक बहुत बड़ा प्लेटफॉर्म होने वाला है कि जिसके माध्यम से हम डोगरी भाषा में विज्ञान के बारे में जानकारी पूरे देश को दे सकते हैं कि हमारे इस प्रदेश में क्या-क्या कार्य हो रहे हैं.
A scientifically aware society with factual thinking can be created only when science communication and education in Indian languages is promoted. The initiative to release science journals in various regional languages by the Department of Science and Technology will not only help in making science and technology information accessible to the masses, but will also increase the confidence of the youth of every community by engaging their interest in science as they study it in their mother tongues.
The films are the most effective medium to carry the message of science to the masses. That is why science films are becoming more and more popular, not just amongst science filmmakers, but also in the society. Vigyan Prasar, Department of Science and Technology, is going to host the 12th National Science Film Festival of India in Bhopal from 22nd to 26th of August 2022. NSFFI is India's first of its kind of film festival, which gives a platform to documentaries and short films on popular science, technology, health and environmental issues. Here is a Science Monitor report on the forthcoming event.
The famous quote stated that science is not finished until it is communicated. The visionary leadership of the country has also paid attention to this, and spreading scientific knowledge and temper has been included in the fundamental duties of the Constitution of India. Communication of science to the public, which is quite necessary for the developmental process and has taken many shapes over the years. Audiovisual programs in the form of films and documentaries are having basic responsibility in bringing science to the masses. Keeping in view the role of documentaries and films in communicating science, Vigyan Prasar, an autonomous institute of the Department of Science and Technology, has been organizing the National Science Film Festival of India every year. The forthcoming 12th edition of the event is being organized at Bhopal in collaboration with the MP Council of Science and Technology. The films produced by institutions, individuals, college and school students during 16th of January 2020 to October 2021 have been included in the forthcoming film festival. Professional and student filmmakers will be felicitated with cash prizes and trophies.
This is a kumbh, is a Mahakumbh of science films that we have been producing so far, creating new path and avenue for newer people to approach and create newer stories in the area of science filmmaking. Content, research, development, techniques have all evolved over a period of time, especially when we do not have any formal school of training. All that we have learned is by virtue of experience. And in this course, we have also given birth to a number of nice, new, vibrant science communicators, writers, and people who can popularize science to a much larger level. I'm glad to share with you that entire process journey of this that began many, many years ago has now achieved a level of maturity and has gained that required critical mass. If you look at the repository that we have is humongous. The repository that we have is so rich and vibrant with new thoughts and ideas, and particularly where people are now given ideas to create material which has a long, long shelf life.
The theme is unanimous for the scientific and technological development in the past 75 years, environment and sustainability, and science through pandemic. The focus areas of the film festival are science, technology, innovations, energy, environment, water, health and medicine, agriculture, traditional knowledge, biographies, history of science and other related issues. The format for the films includes documentary, docudrama, animation and fiction including science fiction. The four main categories of competition are interface, fusion, out-of-box and rainbow. In the non-competitive and beyond the boundaries, films made by foreign producers have also been included. This time, 71 films have been included for screening, that is, 19 for interface, 29 for fusion, 17 for out-of-box and 6 for rainbow category. Films from foreign producers are also included for screening.
ऐसी चीज़ें जिसमें जागरूकता भी लोगों में आती है, और जब जागरूकता आती है वो नए विषय को देखते हैं तो उनका बिहेवियर चेंज होता है और उनमें एक एटीट्यूड या एक साइंटिफिक एटीट्यूड डेवलप होता है। तो ये लगातार हमारी फिल्में कर रही हैं, साइंस की फिल्में कर रही हैं, और वो भ्रम लोगों का टूटा है कि ये केवल किसी वैज्ञानिक की कुछ कथा कहानी होगी या कोई लैब का कुछ इसमें दर्शन होगा। ऐसा बिल्कुल नहीं है। जो फिल्में हम प्रमोट करते हैं, जिनको देश आज अप्रिशिएट कर रहा है, उसमें वैज्ञानिक भी हैं, प्रयोगशालाएं भी हैं, उसके अलावा समाज भी है, जनजीवन भी है, ह्यूमन एंगल स्टोरीज़ भी हैं, इकोलॉजी और इन्वायरमेंट भी है, हेल्थ और न्यूट्रिशन भी है। तो एक बहुत बड़ी फहरिस्त है जिसको लेकर हमारे फिल्म मेकर्स काम कर रहे हैं देश में, और ये भ्रम टूट चुका है कि विज्ञान केवल वैज्ञानिकों का विषय है। विज्ञान जन सामान्य का विषय है और फिल्म मेकर्स उसको आम आदमी तक पहुंचाने का पूरा प्रयास कर रहे हैं।
This unique science film festival promotes science filmmaking in the country among the professional as well as young and budding filmmakers. Awards in various categories includes cash prizes, trophies and citations. This festival will also create a stage to interact with filmmakers, scientists and enthusiasts in various ways such as master classes, workshops and panel discussions to develop a better public understanding of the universe, enhances native science and public participation in science films. The festival in real sense is the firm footing to develop better understanding of scientific aptitude in society and promote appreciation of science films as well.
And now let's have a quick look at some other developments that have made news in the field of science and technology in our special segment Science Express.
A US delegation of the premier National Science Foundation visited India recently to discuss the bilateral collaboration between the two countries and also figure out ways to take this collaboration to the next level. The US delegation consisted of Dr. Kendra Sharp, head of the Office of International Science and Engineering, and Brian Stone, the Chief of Staff of the National Science Foundation, among others. They met Union Minister of Science and Technology and Earth Sciences, Dr. Jitendra Singh, and discussed issues related to both the countries. Dr. Jitendra Singh said that both sides have identified the key sectors of cooperation and the collaboration is already underway in areas like healthcare, technology, space, earth and ocean science, energy, emerging technologies and cooperation in science and technology education. Dr. Sethuraman Panchanathan, Director of the National Science Foundation, who also led the delegation, assured Dr. Jitendra Singh that the topics identified in the two-day brainstorming session will now be taken to a logical conclusion. He also promised to open new avenues of cooperation in areas such as artificial intelligence, biotechnology, geoscience and astrophysics. For the first time, the command of the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, the apex scientific body of the Government of India, has been entrusted to a woman scientist. The director of CSIR Central Electrochemical Research Institute, Dr. Nallathambi Kalai Selvi, has recently been appointed the Director General of CSIR. Dr. Kalai Selvi will hold the post of Director General of CSIR for a full term of 2 years. Born in a small town in Tirunelveli district of Tamil Nadu, Nallathambi Kalai Selvi is known for her work in the field of lithium-ion batteries and has more than 25 years of research experience. Her research mainly involved electrochemical power systems, especially electrodes. She is currently working on the development of sodium-ion lithium-sulfur batteries and supercapacitors. Kalai Selvi has also contributed significantly to the National Mission for Electric Mobility and is credited with over 125 research papers and 6 patents.
And now let's take a look at some of the activities organized under Swachh Sagar Surakshit Sagar program during the past week. And that's all in today's edition of Science Monitor. Keep sending your feedback and suggestions through email. Our email ID is indiascience@vigyanprasar.gov.in. You can also write in to us at Vigyan Prasar, A50, Sector 62, Noida, 201309, Uttar Pradesh. So we'll take your leave now. See you again next week. Till then, stay safe and think scientifically.